So it has come to my attention recently that America is very ignorant when it comes to the whole gun debate, whether certain guns should be legalized or not, and what kind of guns should be legalized, and what should we do about the rampant gun violence in this country. And first of all, I want to make the point that in gun violence, guns are not an important variable. Now hear me out, because I know that sounds a little bit contradictory to the majority of debates that people make. Bring in more guns, you'll have reduced violence because more law-abiding citizens will have guns. Well, that didn't fucking work. Anybody can have a gun in this country. Practically any law-abiding citizen can have a gun in this country at this very point. But a lot of them choose not to have them. So you're not going to force everyone to have a gun, You're simply not. There's just some people who don't want to have a gun, and if something bad happens to them, they'll just have to accept the responsibility of not being able to defend themselves accordingly. The second point I want to make is introducing or taking away certain guns or introducing stricter gun regulation would also do absolutely nothing, because you're not getting to the root of violence, which is the fucked up society we live in. In order to fix the problem of gun violence, you have to address some of the bigger issues. You have to look at America, a nation of many desperate people, many very desperate people. This country is in the shitters right now because the people on top are leeching off the people, are leeching practically of everyone else and our government. I keep hearing this thing over and over again, we can't raise the taxes on the rich because they'll lose all the incentive to invest in the middle and the lower class. Well, that's fucking bullshit, because we've tried it and it didn't work. But I don't want to steer off the course way too much here. I want to address gun violence. The best way to reduce gun violence, or any kind of violence in general, is number one, to look at countries with low gun violence, or violence in general. Countries, particularly like in Scandinavia, where they simply have forged their society around the idea that violence is not okay. Now that might be passive for some people. Here in America, it tends a lot of people have a very, very grand view of liberty and that it should be protected, and I understand that, and I completely agree with that. But I think that violence in this country is not only glorified overly in the media, but it is also glorified by our government. We have an extremely violent government. We have a government that polices the entire world, and we're taught that this is a patriotic thing, that America should do this. And these are just some of the smallest things that I can think of. The best way to address violence in general is to get rid of poverty, just get rid of the burdens that we put on the people at the bottom, the people who can barely live for themselves. We can increase the security in high crime neighborhoods by introducing more police, not taking cops away simply because, that's another fucked up thing, is we're getting rid of social benefits for people because we need to we can't even afford to give subsidies to the richest companies in this world and to the banks. And I think that's fucked up. I think that's fucked up beyond belief, and that needs to stop. But of course I went off track here. The real point I wanted to make in this video is just the sheer stupidity that the kind of laws are being introduced right now are. I worded that wrong. Oh well, you know what I'm saying. Getting rid of assault weapons is not gonna do shit because they account for like. I mean, they're like a statistic. They're pretty much. You can even I think you can possibly discredit assault weapon murders in this country as a statistical anomaly. That's how low they are. That's how few of them happen. And the most that do happen are not even they're not even done with legal firearms. They're done by black market firearms. You know, like AK-47s and things like that. You know, banning fucking AR-15s is not gonna do shit. I keep shaking my camera. People need to stop fucking playing Call of Duty so fucking much. Okay. A semi-automatic .223 caliber AR-15 is not the same thing as a fucking you know, M16 in your fucking video games that shoots a massive armor penetrating NATO round. It's simply not. You know, people look at like the AR-15, they're like, wow, that looks really scary. We gotta ban that shit. That's a military firearm. Well, no fucking military would use that kind of firearm. If you look at what our military fucking uses, for the most part, right now, I believe, is the M16, which is a bigger cousin of the AR-15. It's a fucking, it shoots a bigger round and it's fully automatic. Okay? And most people cannot fucking afford an M16, so why even fucking bother making that association? I think it's the looks that really get to people. You know, it looks scary, you know, because it's got the fucking, that thing, I don't even know what it's called, I don't know, the gas thing in front. You gun nuts, you know what I'm talking about. You know, and it's black and it's got that cool, you know, stock that rests here, the shoulder, whatever stock. That doesn't make it a fucking any more dangerous of a weapon than an M1 Garand or any fucking legal, perfectly legal firearm. You know. You know, you can buy. And that's another thing. What the fuck is an assault rifle anyway? Most people cannot afford a real assault rifle. Not only can they not afford it, but they're way more tightly regulated. Okay. Most AR-15s, I wouldn't even classify them as an assault rifle. They're just a cooler looking. They're just a cooler fucking version of like a hunting rifle. It's as simple as that. And stop fucking judging a weapon by the way it looks, you know, look at the capabilities of it. It's not a fucking assault rifle, okay? And they're like trying to reduce the clip size to 10, which is another thing. I mean, I think handguns kill way more people in this country than, like, you know, assault rifles do with a bigger clip. And another thing, you would get rid of so many different pistols if you decrease the clip size to 7 or 10 or whatever they're proposing. I mean, there's pistols with like 15 rounds in a clip, you know. You're getting rid of pistols too. So I mean, this is a fast track to just getting rid of all guns. And I'm ashamed to call myself a liberal sometimes when I look at what my fellow liberals are doing in this country. You know, we have so many different issues to talk about, so many bigger issues, but no, everyone gets a big dick, a big emotional dick when some kids get shot up in a school, and it's fucking sad, don't get me wrong, it really is, but we need to stay rational about it. We need to fix the bigger problem and leave the fucking guns alone, okay? And I don't want to just criticize the left. You know, when the Patriot Act was passed and it pretty much took a giant shit on the Constitution, the NRA didn't say a goddamn fucking thing. Okay? So the people in this country, they only get a big dick. Well, if they had a big dick, they probably wouldn't be owning an assault rifle in the first place. That's a joke. But people get a big dick when something material gets taken away from them. That's when people rise up against the tyrannical government. It's not when their government fucking censors them left and right, censors the fucking internet, you know, tries to pass laws behind their backs, allowing for cops to pretty much have unlimited power over them. It fucks me up. Weapons are a tangible object. That doesn't mean that they're more important than your intangible rights. But yeah, that's all I wanted to say. So, peace.